Hello, my name is Lucas Plazek. My passage comes from Dickens Bleak House, chapter 24, an appeal case. This passage is comprised of a conversation between Mr. John Jarndyce, Richard Carstone, Ada Clare, and Esther Summerson. Richard and Mr. Jarndyce are having a disagreement in which Mr. Jarndyce tells Rick that he should no longer court his cousin Ada as he goes on his military commission to Ireland. This is significant to the story because it displays the sentiments of both Rick and Mr. Jarndyce, sentiments that are important to the resolution of Dickens Bleak House. And so, time passed until the commission was obtained and Richard received directions with it to join a regiment in Ireland. He arrived post-haste with the intelligence one evening and had a long conference with my guardian. Upwards of an hour elapsed before my guardian put his head into the room where Ada and I were sitting and said, "Come in, my dears." We went in and found Richard, whom we had last seen in high spirits, leaning on the chimney-piece, looking mortified and angry. "Rick and I, Ada," said Mr. Jarndyce, "are not quite of one mind." "Come, come, Rick, put a brighter face upon it." "You are very hard with me, sir," said Richard. "The harder because you have been so considerate to me in all other respects, and have done me kindnesses that I can never acknowledge. I never could have been set right without you, sir." "Well, well," said Mr. Jarndyce, "I want to set you more right yet. I want to set you more right with yourself." "I hope you will excuse my saying, sir," returned Richard in a fiery way, but yet respectfully, "that I think that I am the best judge about myself." "I hope you will excuse my saying, my dear Rick," observed Mr. Jarndyce with the sweetest cheerfulness and good humour, "that it is quite natural in you to think so, but I don't think so. I must do my duty, Rick, or you could never care for me in cool blood, and I hope you will always care for me, cool and hot." Ada had turned so pale that he made her sit down in his reading chair and sat beside her. "It's nothing, my dear," he said. "It's nothing. Rick and I have only had a friendly difference, which we must state to you, for you are the theme. Now you are afraid of what's coming?" "I am not indeed, Cousin John," replied Ada, with a smile, "if it is to come from you." "Thank you, my dear. Do you give me a minute's calm attention, without looking at Rick. And, little woman, do you likewise?" "My dear girl," putting his hand on hers as it lay on the side of the easy-chair, "you recollect the talk we had, we four, when the little woman told me of a little love affair? It is not likely that either Richard or I can ever forget your kindness that day, Cousin John." "I can never forget it," said Richard. "And I can never forget it," said Ada. "So much the easier what I have to say, and so much the easier for us to agree," returned my guardian, with his face irradiated by the gentleness and honour in his heart. "Ada, my bird, you should know that Rick has chosen his profession for the last time. All that he has of certainty will be expended when he is fully equipped. He has exhausted his resources, and is bound henceforward to the tree he has planted." "Quite true that I have exhausted my present resources, and I am quite content to know it. But what I have of certainty, sir," said Richard, "is not all that I have." "Rick, Rick!" cried my guardian, with a sudden terror in his manner, and in an altered voice, and putting up his hands as if he would have stopped his ears, "for the love of God, don't found a hope or expectation on the family curse. Whatever you do on this side of the grave, never give one lingering glance towards the horrible phantom that has haunted us for so many years. Better to borrow, better to beg, better to die."